Hello and welcome to World Talks. I'm your host, Diana Skaya. EU member states are facing a key deadline to apply for the so-called National Escape Clause, a move that would allow them to boost defense spending without actually breaching EU fiscal rules and part of a much larger push to rearm Europe amid growing security concerns. Now, joining me now on World Talks to discuss what this all means, I'm joined by Martin Sklenár, Slovakia's former defense minister. Martin, so glad to have you back here on World Talks this evening with us.
Good evening. Good to be back on the show.
So, Martin, please do break down for us on how this EU's National Escape Clause and how exactly does it work in the context of defense spending?
So basically what the Commission is proposing, or actually came out with a proposal back in March as part of the Rearm Europe proposal, is allowing member states to get on more debt and borrow money specifically for defense expenditures, with the effect that it will not have any implications with regard to what the Commission is following in terms of national debt of member states. So basically translated, it means they can borrow more money to finance defense projects, modernization and armament of their armed forces, even personal expenditures to get more soldiers into their armies. And the Commission will not look at this as breaking the rules that there are for the fiscal deficits and for the level of sovereign debt that member states have acquired so far, because they are strict and there's rules. They cannot exceed 3% of the GDP. During the fiscal year for countries which have taken on more than 60% of their GDP in debt. So this should create the conditions for additional money to make available for modernization, armament, and preparation of their armed forces.
Germany and Poland have already requested to activate the clause. Do we know how many other countries are expected to follow suit before the deadline? Can you elaborate?
Surprisingly, not too many. So far, I think it's a handful, around 6 countries. Maybe until midnight, when the official deadline will expire, there will be more joining. But certainly is not the kind of numbers that we were expecting to see when the Commission came out with the proposal. In the proposal, the Commission actually talks about a coordinated approach of member states to request the escape clause or the lifting of the escape clause. Nothing like that has happened. We haven't seen a coordinated approach. Member states are making these decisions on their own, basically waiting until the very last day. So there might be late additions to the countries who have already requested this specific procedure. And it is to be expected also that the Commission will allow late submissions from member states to go into this direction, simply because of the fact that it's such an important and very extraordinary situation. And we'll start the procedure that needs to follow based on the request from the member states only when all the member states who want to make such a request have submitted such requests.
That's my question to you. You did say, that you were surprised that there weren't many countries. But so now what is actually, can you tell us, what's the reason that may be causing this division among these countries, among member states?
It's difficult to say. Certainly, the deadline has been known, so the countries should have known that if they want to submit such requests, today is the day. Certainly, Germany has done so as the first country 2 days ago, which shows that even despite several weeks that the countries have had for the submission of those requests, I can imagine that the national procedures can be a little bit more time-consuming and administratively difficult to push those decisions through, cabinet decisions and or relevant procedures that need to happen on the national level. So I would expect the number of member states to grow, even if the deadline will pass this midnight.
And this national escape clause, Martin, could it actually be a precedent for bypassing EU fiscal rules? What's your personal take on that?
So the rules that the Commission is proposing for this extraordinary situation, it has to be stressed again that these procedures are only in place for extraordinary reasons, such as Russia's aggressions against Ukraine, which has significantly altered the security environment, and the increased costs related to strengthening defense and deterrence, rearming Europe, certainly are an extraordinary situation. So the rules and the principles are very specific. This only applies to a specific timeline of or time frame of 4 years. The Commission will keep a very close look at what expenditures countries will use the additional money that they will be able to borrow on the capital markets for this reason, and they have to justify that this is just the amount of 1.5% of GDP that the Commission foresees as the room for additional investments. That they actually, this is the amount of money that they are able to spend. So it's going to be very closely monitored how countries use their this investment, especially for defense-related investments, and don't have to misuse the rules. Or will not.
I mean, you just said that. Sorry,
be obviously a precedent for any other domains.
Let me ask you. You just said that misuse of that. Are there any safeguards that are in place in order to prevent abuse of this fiscal flexibility?
Well, in the end, it will be a result of the dialogue between the Commission and the individual member states. So, if for example, a country wants to buy additional fighter jets or tanks or train their soldiers with the increased money, I think there will be the discussion will be very short. But if the investments will be done in let's say the dual use domain, there will be obviously more argumentation necessary how and why this is connected, especially to defense, making defense stronger and deterrence more effective. And the countries will have to really thoroughly explain to the Commission, as they do also in other fiscal situations, why those investments have been done and what they bring to the not only to the national level of defense and deterrence, but also to the European strengthening of defense.
Martin, you did mention the importance, of course, of investments. Do you think that this new defense spending, is that going to translate into, for instance, tangible military capabilities in the short term? Or when you mentioned investments, are we looking at long-term investments?
With procurement in defense, the time frame obviously can take several years until it comes to deliveries. So the Commission expects this, and the investments and the deliveries will be considered even if the deliveries are taking place outside of the 4 years. This is something that also talks about, or is a result of the capacity of the European defense industry, which is not sufficient to deliver quickly all the capabilities that member states need for strengthening their defense. But it's going to take longer than the 4 years to actually implement all the projects that will as a result, be contracted from the money that will be made available by this initiative.
And beyond security, I mean, again, you're talking about projects here. Could the use of the escape clause spill into other crucial areas, for example, tech, climate, for instance, where countries might also want to make exemptions? How do you see that?
I would be reserved to seeing this being broadened out to other domains. Technology certainly is a specific case, especially dual-use technology, which is a lot of technology nowadays is dual-use. But as I was mentioning, the primary objective of every country, if they want to use the money, given the exceptional situation here, that the Commission makes available, they have to really make a strong case how the concrete investment or how the money spent actually adds to the defensive capacity, or supports basically the broader objective of defense. This could go. I want to make sure that I say this. This could go into dual-use projects, either for military mobility in infrastructure, in road infrastructure, train infrastructure, or others. But it has to be made clear the direct connection between each and every project and the objective of strengthening defense capabilities of member states and, by extension, of the European Union.
Thank you so much, Martin Sklenár, former Slovakian defense minister, for breaking it down for us and for being with us here on World Talks.
Thank you very much.
And that completes this edition of World Talks here on TVP World. I'm Diana Skaya. Thanks for watching.